It's not really a matter of your loved ones becoming more precious to you, because they're as precious as they can be. It's that you just notice more. You don't want to miss anything.
Losing a father is an unspeakable tragedy. What about losing a well-known TV father? It's almost as if the grief gets spread out for all the fans to feel. One of Michael Landon's most famous roles was Pa on Little House on the Prairie. He dispensed fatherly advice on the show every day. Michael also raised 9 children. He was taken from them far too soon, but they'll always remember the time they had with him. It was marked by love and humor in the face of unspeakable odds. Keep watching to see Michael Landon's daughter reveal how he spent his final days before dying. Michael's daughter Leslie worked with him on several episodes of Little House on the Prairie. She was excited to work with him, and it began when she was 11. She played a child dying of the plague in one episode. They had to do several takes of that scene because Michael couldn't ring in his emotions, even if it was for a scene. She later came back for other guest roles, including schoolteacher Etta Plum. He also made sure to create special memories for his children. One day, he filled the entire yard with a snow-like covering of strawberry Nesquik because it was Leslie's favorite. Her brother Sean remembers being taken along on errands where he'd get marshmallows and candy as a secret treat. As Sean said, "I was too young to know he was famous, but I knew how fun and playful he was." Leslie remembers that he always spoke to her on her level like an adult, but memories of games they used to play also flood in. One literally involved flooding. The idea was that you couldn't look at the waves, so you'd never know when they'd wash over you. She wonders if that simple game was her father's way of preparing her for the overwhelming parts of life. She wishes more than anything that she could go back and ask him in person. One of the most important moments Leslie and Michael ever had was him walking her down the aisle on her wedding day. She said,
It was a magical day for me. Yeah, I feel very lucky that way because I know I have younger siblings. Sorry. I'm just thinking of Jennifer. I was just thinking, she won't have that experience. She wouldn't have my dad doing that with her.
Leslie admits it was hard to accept any changes in her father's health. As she said,
"There's always this feeling in your heart that when you love somebody, it's going to be all right. And somehow, because he was invincible to us, he could do anything."
Michael may have also seen himself that way to an extent. He was the type of man to avoid going to the doctor until it was absolutely necessary. He continued to work while the cancer was likely growing, including writing, directing, and producing. She admits, "When my dad didn't feel good, if something didn't feel right, he tended to ignore it, hoping that it would go away. He was a busy man, burning the candle at both ends." I think his own health got put on the back burner. Michael avoided going to the doctor until he couldn't hide the severe pain anymore. He eventually found out it was a terminal and inoperable form of pancreatic cancer. Michael thought smoking and drinking could have been the cause, so he tried to quit smoking after Victor French died of lung cancer. There are even theories that radiation on the Little House set created the tumors. Julie Fleshman, president and CEO of the Pancreatic Cancer Association, says little was known about pancreatic cancer at the time. There weren't many researchers studying it, and the 5-year survival rate was only 4%. Michael went public with the diagnosis in April 1991. He held a news conference and frankly told the world,
I have cancer of the pancreas and the liver.
Leslie feels like this was one of the bravest things he ever did. She said, he definitely showed his vulnerable side in announcing this illness, but he wanted to stay as hopeful as possible that he could beat it. Leslie also reveals that her father didn't want anything posted in the tabloids about his cancer. It was a way to protect his younger children. Michael went on his friend Johnny Carson's show to condemn the tabloids in person. That included the rumors that he and Cindy were trying to have a 10th child. As he said,
"There's a big headline in one of these incredible magazines about the fact that I want to have a 10th child so my wife will have something to remember me by. I mean, I got 9 kids, 9 dogs, 3 grandkids, 1 in the oven, 3 parrots, and my wife, Cindy, needs something to remember me."
Johnny thought Michael looked healthy at the time and seemed in good spirits, which was true then. He even said,
"You're looking good. You really are.
I feel good.
Are you working out?"
He underwent surgery for a blood clot 12 days later. He granted Life magazine the opportunity to do a story about his life that June. That was where he revealed that the tumor had grown twice its original size. He no longer wanted to undergo chemo and switched to alternative therapies, such as changing his diet. Michael's final days were all about spending as much time as possible with his children. Leslie admits that the hardest part of the experience was how quickly the cancer changed her father's health, despite his positive attitude. There was one moment when she knew the confidence he'd maintained was no longer there. As she says,
I remember there was one distinct moment, though, when my brother was helping my dad up the back staircase, and he was carrying my dad's oxygen tank, and watching them both go up the back stairs. That moment for me was a release of, it was a lot of release of emotions, but I realized at that point that he really was going to die, and that I needed to let that be okay, because I could tell he was suffering, and that was not the quality of life that he wanted for himself. He was ready to go.
Michael Landon died at the age of 54 on July 1, 1991. His wife, Cindy, was by his bedside. His son, Mark, reportedly was there as well and told him it was time to move on. Michael replied, "You're right, it's time. I love you all." His body is buried at the Hillside Memorial Park Cemetery in Culver City, California. His headstone reads, "He seized life with joy. He gave to life generously. He leaves a legacy of love and laughter." However, there was an even more fitting final line for his friends and family to remember him by. It was a line he wrote for Little House on the Prairie that went,
"Remember me with smiles and laughter, for that's how I'll remember you all. If you can only remember me with tears, then don't remember me at all."
Leslie thinks her father would have made different decisions if he had his life to do over again. She said, "I think if my dad was alive today, he would say, 'Boy, I blew it. I really should have been staying on top of my health every year and making sure I was getting full checkups.'" Leslie and her siblings have learned not to ignore their own health. She says that she wants to do the exact opposite of what her father did and look into anything that feels off. Early detection has already been a lifesaver for them. Her brother Chris got a scan that found his liver enzymes were high. The doctors were able to remove a 2.5 centimeter tumor without any radiation or chemotherapy. Leslie is dedicated to raising awareness about pancreatic cancer, which still has a low survival rate. She participated in the PanCan, or Pancreatic Cancer Action Network's largest fundraiser, PanCan Purple Stride. She also respects and hopes to spread her father's legacy. In her own terms, she says, "I feel like the takeaway was loving one another and accepting people for who they are. I think he was very proud of the fact that he could bring families together to watch entertainment that was going to bring a wide range of emotions." Leslie notes that family was the most important thing for her father. The changes in the modern family landscape would shock him if he could see them. As she said, "I think he would be disappointed at how families today disengage from each other. He would tell people, 'Put your phone down, sit around the dinner table and talk.'" She also notes how his passing has affected their family specifically. As she says, "It's so hard for us to believe 30 years have gone by. Sometimes it feels like just yesterday that he was here, but I think that he would be so thrilled to see his loved ones holding up his legacy. Michael would be glad to know that the family is still close." Leslie and Sean love to swap stories about him, or watch Bonanza, or Little House on the Prairie. On the anniversary of his death, the family spends the day together, remembering how special he was. Lisa admits that losing him is a major part of the fabric of who she is. Sean says it's made him more empathetic and caring towards others. What's your favorite Michael Landon role? Let us know in the comments below.